Hey everybody, welcome back to One Seed, One World. So today we're going to go over a couple of things about Anaheim peppers. Let me show you here. These are the Anaheims I picked out of the garden just a couple days ago. And you know, there's only so many Anaheims or peppers in general that you can eat at one time, and you may want to preserve them for later use. One way that you can do that is by roasting them and freezing them. So I just wanted to show you a couple of steps on how you can do that. A couple things about Anaheim peppers first. For a heat factor, they're similar to Poblanos. Poblanos range, I think, on an average about 1,250 Scoville units. And Anaheims I think their average is about 1,500 Scoville units. So they're slightly hotter than a Poblano, but overall they're a fairly mild pepper. And just like Poblanos, you can use them to stuff and whatnot. You can make chili rellenos out of these. While the standard to make chili rellenos is Poblano peppers, you can use Anaheims in the same manner. Or any other way that you would use a Poblano, or really any pepper at all. I mean, just yesterday I made some homemade V8 juice from different ingredients out of the garden, and I threw in a couple of Anaheim peppers along with some horseradish to kind of make it a little bit more of a spicier V8. So I've got my grill going here, and actually I've got it cranked up pretty far, so we're going to turn this baby down and whoo, hot. Open it up a little bit to let it cool down a hair. So you can do this on a propane grill like I'm doing now. You can do it on a charcoal grill, or you could do it even in your broiler in your oven. And if you wanted to get really all rustic about it, you could also do it over an open flame if you really wanted to do that, like over a campfire. But basically what you want to do is just get these on some sort of grill type situation and blacken the skins. And so that's what we're going to do now. All right, so we're doing these whole. I'm not, coring them or taking the little end stems off or anything. We're just going to put them on whole. Go ahead and line these up very well. All right. Give myself a little bit more room to work here. And you're just going to char them in batches, depending on how many you have. Space them apart a little bit so you got room to work. What you do, you're just going to turn them a couple of times too, to kind of get things rounded all the way around. I have a very light sear on these first ones up here, so didn't get it quite as much as I wanted to initially, and so I'm going to turn them again. I think my back burners are working much better than my front. Some of these skins are splitting, and it's popping together really well. And that's what you're looking for. Get those nice good chars on there. So you see this one's got some nice char going on. That's what you're looking for, if I don't drop it. Okay, so we have all of our Anaheim peppers all nice and charred up. They don't have to be perfectly brownish black all the way around. You're going to have some green and stuff in there. You just want to get a good char on them, and what that char is going to do is give you a nice roasty flavor that will go along with the good pepper flavor and a little bit of heat that it's going to add as well. Now, if you are going to use these right away, you can put them in a paper bag, let them kind of sauna it up in there for just a few minutes. And then when you take them out, the skins will peel right off the peppers. And then you can go and, chop them up to throw them in your roasted pepper fire sauce, or you can stuff them with cheeses and put red sauce, like an enchilada red sauce on them, and whatever you want to do with them, But if you want to preserve them for the long term, what you want to do is put them on a sheet pan first. Hence, sheet pan. Ouch. This sheet pan's hot. It's been sitting out here on the table on the deck and the sun's shining down. And even though it's a beautiful day out, just sitting in the sun, feels almost like I just took it out of the oven. Whew. Burning my fingers. Okay, so laying them out on the sheet pan as so they're not touching. You want to give them a little space. This is just going to be temporary. Take your sheet pan. You might want to let your peppers maybe just cool down a little bit before you do this, maybe down to room temperature. And if you have your sheet pan sitting out in the sun on the deck like I did, you might want to give it a little extra time to cool down. Ouch. So anyway, once it's come down to about room temperature, put this in the freezer for about an hour or two until they kind of freeze up, harden up a bit. And what this will do is prevent them from sticking together. If you just stuck them all in a bag right now and put them in the freezer, and then when you try to get them out to use them later, they would all be stuck together. So put them on a sheet pan first, put them in the freezer, let them harden up, then put them in a plastic freezer safe bag, and then you can store them for long-term use. Some people refer to that as flash freezing. That's not really a true form of flash freezing. I think that flash freezing would happen, right within when you can freeze something within just a couple of minutes and not over the course of an hour or so. And you would need a frost giant to do that. But Odin wiped out the frost giants, long before we were born. So we don't have the option to flash freeze at home anymore. Really bad Norse mythology joke, sorry. Really though, flash freezing, you would probably need some sort of industrial piece of equipment to do a true flash freeze. Just do this in your freezer this way. Once they get hardened up, put them in your freezer safe bag, and you'll be eating Anaheims or Poblanos. You can do this with Poblanos too, but you'll be eating these tasty roasted peppers throughout the winter in whatever dishes you choose to put them in. So one last note about Anaheims, if you're interested in the history at all, they actually originated in New Mexico, but they are named for the city of Anaheim in California. Basically around 1894, 1896, it's kind of hazy on the exact year, but somewhere in that time frame, mid to late 1890s, there was a rancher named Emilio Ortega that lived in New Mexico. He came to Anaheim, brought his peppers, started selling them. They got super popular in that area, and then people just started referring to them as Anaheim peppers, and the name's kind of always stuck, and now we got Anaheims that you can grow in your garden. So it's just one additional type of pepper that you can do if you are into like the mild to medium type heats. And again, the heat level on the Scoville unit, part of it's going to be in the genetics. If they came from a hot pepper that was grown the year previously, they might be hotter, the ones that you grow. But in most cases, unless you're saving your own seeds and are saving specific ones from specific plants, you're not going to know the specific heat level that is going to go into your Anaheim. They just have that average range, and a lot of that is going to be based off of the genetics of the seed that seed came from, and then also A big player in it, as I've mentioned before, is what your season's like. If you have a hot, dry summer and they're not getting a lot of water, peppers are gonna be much hotter. I've had poblanos that just burnt the crap out of my mouth when normally a poblano is a milder pepper. But if they're getting regular watering and you don't have extreme temperatures, they will probably normally fall into their average range, their median range for the Scoville unit. And so again, median range for the Anaheim is about 1,500, but they can be as low as 500. You know, they kind of have a, with any pepper, you know, they kind of have that wide range, but you're looking at 500 to 1,500 on any given year. So there you have it. Try doing some roasted peppers and preserving them for later. Hope those tips help, and whatever's going on in your neck of the woods, your gardens and your homesteads, I hope it's working out fantastic for you, and I hope that you are having a great day. Please subscribe to our channel. We will see you again soon. Namaste.